And that's why I refuse to apply aloe vera in that area.
Because you're, and that's why no one will remember your name.
And that is why you will die.
Training didn't teach me a lot, but it taught me how to tolerate the pain of icy hot in places it should not go.
That's for damn
Well, it
sure.
wasn't icy hot. It was the off-brand shit from the
the shit that actually gave you chemical burns.
what the fuck was it called? APHIS. APHIS is what the Army and Air Force have. APHIS.
Yeah.
Blue goo is what we got, and it was actually blue. It looked like liquefied mint.
Was it Air Force blue?
I mean,
fuck yeah.
Like Air Force baby blue, like baby sky blue, like pretty much the color of your cup, actually. It was like that color blue. And we rubbed it all over our nether regions just to see who in the base could hold on the longest.
Only to find out that water makes it worse before it makes it better.
Oh no, it does, absolutely. You ever taken and chewed spearmint gum and then like took a sip of like ice cold water? And it just burns your tongue.
What's the gum commercial? It's like Rush 5. This is what it's like to chew Rush 5.
Just cuts the Air Force commercial. Basic, and it's a bunch of freaking bald-headed trainees.
This is what it's like to chew Fresh 5 gum or whatever the hell that is.
Just dunking a Lipton tea bag in a little jar of blue goo.
Welcome, everybody, to the next dose of taint. That's right. We're still here.
We didn't get canceled.
Well, we did, but it didn't stick. We're still.
The second episode hasn't gone public yet. So
shut up. I'm manifesting right now.
So we didn't get canceled.
Ha!
Cut this.
We're still here. We're still doing what we love, which is talking about the Wheel o' Time.
Your mom?
Talking about it. At this particular point in time, there is a petition to save the TV show. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, they hate the TV show. They're TV show haters. We're not. We're not TV show haters. We love the show. There are things about the show we wish were better. And we're fine with talking about those. But if you want to save Watt, go to savewatt.com. If you've done that already, you can join the 100,000 signatures that are already there.
Or but also, you can post a heartfelt video or a love note to the cast and crew.
Oh, it's at almost at 119,000.
Look at it.
At time of this recording, it is at 119,000. Click the link in the description below and get your butt over there if you haven't done it already. Every little bit helps.
Mm-hmm. Go do the thing. But speaking of doing the thing, welcome back. I'm your Bijan Mahale. My name's Andrew.
I'm your Ethan Mahale. You can call me Reese.
And I'm your Sorban Mahale. My Christian name is Josh, but you can call me J-Dog if you're nasty.
Today you can call him Nathan Mahale.
I'm the Nathan Mahale. What's up, Nathan? How you doing, bruh? I see you. I know you watch the show.
His name is Andrew, but today you can call me Barlog the Destroyer.
And that's right, we are the Black Tower Podcast, coming to you weekly with hot takes, and sometimes maybe cold takes that we like to heat up red hot. And we love to do it. We love to do it. It's great. We love the Wheel of Time. I love Wheel of Time. It's great. It's great fandom. WattCon is coming up here in a couple weeks. Are you going? You should. You absolutely need to. It's the best place to be in July. I said what I said.
I'll be there unless something unfortunate happens between now and then.
I'm manifesting that I will be there. I am manifesting so hard. By the time this episode comes live, I will know for sure. So let's do this. Andrew, I'm going to give you an editing assignment, okay?
That's not going to happen.
Wow, guys. Yes, I'm going to be at WattCon. I'm so excited to be there. Cut. Yeah, this year, I'm just not going to be able to make it. And I'm really sad about it, and it really sucks. And I do want to be there, and my heart is with you all. But life is just crazy right now, and that's just that's just how it is. Now, what I want you to do is once we know, I want you to play the one that so that I looks like I know the future.
This is
hey everybody watching, only listen to whichever one of those winds up being the true one.
You know how I would edit this? I would play the whole thing, and under whichever one was true, I would put text that said it's this one.
Not this one.
Not this one. That's what I would do. Just
do a choose your own adventure,
right over here.
Or like a choose your own adventure. Like if you want to go down the left corridor, flip to page 35.
Your story ended. You were wrong.
You died because you suck.
Sorry, you caught dysentery.
Do you guys remember
on the
those?
Oregon Trail.
The choose your own adventure books?
Yeah.
I love them. I used to have 8 finger, 8 bookmarks.
8 fingers?
Like read and then go back if I died. There was one, I can't remember what it was, but there was a
back in my day, you had to use your fingers as checkpoints in your story.
There was a storyline that the lady in your party died and became a skeleton and came back to kill you. And she was really there was the illustration of the skeleton with a dagger, and she looked really hot. And I was like, dang, how do I get to this ending? And I couldn't ever get to.
As a skeleton?
Yeah, dude, she was hot.
You never killed her?
No.
Unrealistic body standard.
Oh, nowadays you got to be undead to be hot. Cool. See how it is.
Only skeletons are sexy to you? I get it.
You got to be like Skeletor, but instead of just a skull with a regular body, you got to be skeleton all over.
Pardon me for having organs.
Fucking organs are so 2024.
Am I flirting with you, or do I just have organs and I exist?
Lungs are out. Empty thoracic cavities are in. This one simple beauty trick will drive him wild. Rip open your rib cage and just dump everything out. He'll be speechless.
Oh God! All right, let's do this. Let's start him off with a Spurler Wernin, because we're gonna need it.
Oh, fuck. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just pick a number 1 through 4.
Reese.
7.
Good job. That's exactly what we needed.
Love's on. Number 3.
10 minutes in, and I swear to God, I will murder.
That's why we got gloves.
This episode contains spoilers from the entire Wheel of Time series.
If you have not read the series, you are at risk of being spoiled.
You have been warned.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Kate and Michael.
You say put your hands together?
Put your hands together. Andrew, sometimes you hear what you want to hear, and I know what you want to hear. Nasty. You nasty.
On that note, that always.
Splish splash, I was taking a bath. What in what? Oh, geez. Oh, great heavens.
Oh, Lordy.
Reese, what are we talking about tonight?
Allegedly, we're talking about Gholam. My precious.
That's the wrong Gholam.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Sheesh. My name's...
I blame a girl for true.
Fittingly enough, the original name of that thumbnail was The Clown, and I couldn't change the figure in it, and I made it 5 minutes before pre-recording, so...
Hey, all right. I'm in.
So...
I like it.
So the Gholam, arguably, in my opinion, one of the most freakishly interesting characters in the entire series. They're insane. They're almost OP, right? They are almost too much to handle, and really the only person who has even a chance of dealing with the Gholam is Matt. And even then, this isn't Matt can do it. It's Matt has a chance, because these guys are scary.
Yeah. I mean, they're not fun. They have like no rules. They can just whatever. Doors, who cares?
Doors. That's a squeak. That's a little crack right there. I could just squeak my way right through.
Who needs a door? Who needs a
I mean-
window?
There's other ways than Matt's potential way to kill him, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. So okay, so Andrew, what is Gholam exactly?
So I know this will be a surprise to literally everyone, but this particular Shadowspawn was created by this crazy kind of geneticist, this bioengineer of sorts named Agonor. Crazy. I know, right? You might have heard him.
Dude.
I
He's made a
forgot.
couple of things.
I'm shocked.
Was made during the War of Power, and he made 6 of them.
6 altogether.
Three
Right?
in the-
Total.
Yep, 6
Only
altogether.
No more, no
Yep.
less.
3 in the visage of males, 3 in the visage of females. But made no more, because even the Forsaken were like, that shit's fucking scary, Agonor.
Stop it.
The fuck are you doing, man?
But they were designed expressly to be the best assassinators of channelers.
Mm.
Bit of a bone to pick with what.fandom.com. You say that they were created to assassinate Aes Sedai. That is not true. They were created to assassinate channelers.
Oh snap!
So, yeah.
You know what? One of these days they're going to give us an admin account and let us correct some of these things.
Absolutely not. Don't fucking do that. Don't do that.
I don't want the responsibility.
Also, it's a lot easier for us to sit here and like rely on your site for a
Did you
lot of
do something
information
like
and be like,
that?
actually, this part's not exactly accurate.
Yeah. Pretty soon, like all of every single like heading would be the same name after a short
Yeah.
time. If history
It's not
was
inaccurate, but
It's not.
it's not exactly.
But that's okay.
So let's go into some characteristics of these bad, as Josh likes to say, bad mamma jammas. I feel like I've heard you say mamma jammas more than a few times.
I have used that phrase. If you were to put me on trial for using that phrase, you would find me guilty.
Yeah. So if you're going to create an assassin whose primary target is somebody that can use the one power, it would behoove you to make them, I don't know, immune to the one power, wouldn't it?
That's an interesting idea. I hadn't thought of it
Yeah.
before.
Is
Well,
such a
Agonor
thing
did.
even possible?
Agonor thought of it, and then he did it. Because the Golem are immune to the one power. So
That's
you can
cool.
channel at them, have fun, keep going at it. Guess what it's going to do? Fuck all. Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
They can detect a channeler, just detect a channeler, not somebody channeling, just somebody that can channel at 50 paces.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
It's an
Um,
unfair advantage.
They, from several miles away, they can detect somebody using the one power. And then, of course, when you say that, you're like, well, the Forsaken were worried about them. We'll just get in the good graces of Big Daddy Shy and use the true power. Nope. They can detect that one fucking too. They're like the Swiss Army knife of fucking up channelers. You
Okay.
can't hit them with your ultimate power. You can't
But you
hide the
can-
fact that you can use their ultimate power. They can
But you
tell
can-
when you're using it, where you're from, and from miles and miles away. And even if you take and have the protection from the same side that they're supposed to be on, they could still tell you're fucking doing it.
Okay, but Andrew, surely you can just stab them with a knife,
Obviously,
right?
right?
Oh no, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're not quite there yet. There's more. There's more.
Fine.
But wait, there's more.
So then you're like, okay, well, if this creature really can't be harmed by these incredible supernatural means, then how do you motivate them to really go after anybody?
How
Well,
indeed?
Excellent.
they sustain themselves on fresh blood.
Ah,
Mm,
Fresh.
Stale blood. They are not
Fresh, never
going after
frozen.
Senbui.
feed me.
They're going after the Wendy's burgers of the blood world.
Feed
Fresh
me,
blood.
Seymour. Feed me. Feed
Um,
me, Seymour.
And it's not
All
even
night long.
it's not even that they will just take and do like our boy from when apparently corn was made of vampires in like Queen of the Damned and that genre of movies, and just feast on all the blood. They will just slowly tear the victim apart limb from limb, savoring the blood over time as they need to. But they prefer the blood of channelers and receive a sense of euphoria when they take the life of just somebody that can channel.
I love it. I love how
Yeah.
evil these dudes are. I really do. I love these guys.
Well, they're not evil. They're just drawn that way.
Right.
How did I know you were
So,
going?
yeah. So then you're like, okay, well, if magic doesn't work, well, the Aes Sedai, well, they always have these dudes with those fancy fucking cloaks around them. These
Can't
warriors.
put my eyes on them, but
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's the stabby stab. Yeah, I
Well,
knew it.
The golem wound up being incredibly resistant to harm. They are almost completely immune to conventional weapons, as they have nothing whatsoever resembling resembling organs or internal human physiology, and appear to just not feel pain when struck or cut. They're not completely immune to such weapons, however, as they can still be dismembered, though doing so won't actually truly harm it.
So it would be like, I feel like there was a movie where they did this, where they cut a dude up into like pieces and like stored him in like 5 different boxes, and they brought him back and he was like, let me put my body back together. I feel like that was a thing that happened. I know it happened in Beetlejuice, which
Wow,
was a great
spoilers.
movie. Yeah, but I'm not telling you who.
I mean, other than the pain thing, he reminds me of Hidan from Naruto Shippuden,
Oh, okay.
because Hidan was immortal. I mean, now Hidan had organs and he could technically die, and it gets into the semantics of how Joshinism and all that kind of worked. But same thing, he could be dismembered, and it didn't really harm him until a certain point. But that was irrelevant to that.
Yeah.
But the implication comes to seem to be there's another fucking anime where there's like a dude that's like a doctor, but he's a doctor for monsters, and non-humans, and he winds up coming across like a Frankenstein girl whose like leg has been like chopped off or fallen off or whatever, and she's clearly like put together from different body parts, like Frankenstein's monster. Sorry,
Nice.
not Frankenstein. Frankenstein's monster. Sorry.
Correct.
get it right.
Yeah.
And he sews her back together, but kind of in the same way, where like you can dismember, but like it ultimately doesn't destroy. Then we don't get like confirmation that like you could chop off a golem's hand and then like reattach it and it would be fine. Though,
Right.
given every fucking thing else they can do, it would not surprise me.
Well, we don't even have.
Like it would not surprise me also if it didn't just do some weird smoke, like what was it, the fucking T-1000 or whatever from the first the second Terminator.
Yeah. Or like Attack on Titan, where you cut off their arm and the arm just like vaporizes
Yeah.
into steam.
More about the one power kind of thing. Like obviously there's ways around it. Weaves of the one power and true power, though we don't actually see the true power used against them, it's the implication, but weaves of the one power melt against them. But if you use the one power to throw a rock at them, it doesn't just disappear. Egwene does it, not Egwene, fucking Elaine does this pretty quick, and is like, oh look, there's a workaround. And it's like, yeah, kind of. Problem, they're slippery as fuck and just dodge the fucking thing you threw at them.
Yeah.
So, like, no. But this is also how we learn there seems to be some sort of connection between how the Foxhead medallion that Matt gets from the Finn works, along with how the Golem work, and the two things like are seemingly incompatible, and can kind of damage the Golem the same way that like stereotypically like a cross can like burn vampires,
Right.
or something of that nature. The Golem possess a degree of superhuman strength, able to easily tear a man's throat out with their bare hands.
Hell yeah.
While attempting to resist one's strength to strength, Matt Cawthon mentally compared the contest to a child attempting to resist the strength of a grown man, and that comparison was made while the golem was merely toying with him.
That's
Additionally,
terrifying.
the one that Matt fought in Ebu Dar was noted by him to be even faster than a Murdral. Due to the fact that they lack any sort of skeletal structure, they are impossibly flexible and agile, and can squeeze through incredibly small spaces. They also survive going through a gateway better than most Shadowspawn. There's a key phrase in there: better than most
Better.
Shadowspawn. However, they are not immortal, like a construct, though they have a lifespan of probably several hundred years, akin to a strong Aes Sedai who has taken the 3 oaths.
Do
But
they?
there's several instances, I think, of the golem that the one golem that we see all the time, or frequently, or
Yeah.
only in the books, because we only ever see the one male golem throughout the books.
Yeah, they couldn't.
He
They.
frequently squeezes under a door or in between a door jamb and the door itself, kind of thing. So
Didn't we
like an
get to the
octopus.
point where everybody pretty much just accepted that they were lucky to find this one in a stasis box?
Samael
But
did.
yeah, Samael found him in a stasis box, and the rest of them were just like either dead or gone. Like we don't know, right? The other
Yeah,
5
that's
are unaccounted for.
the assumption, yeah.
Yeah,
They're owning their own careers somewhere.
Yeah. Making the
dude.
best of their
Okay,
lives.
the golems scare the shit out of me though, really, because the first time we meet with them is in the Rahad, right? This one golem. They just found the cache of items, and the golem comes in, stabs. Was it Elaine? I think he stabbed Elaine, and is working his way around and just basically trying to kill everybody.
Like,
And
talking about like as soon as they find the stash of Angreal.
yeah,
They're like, oh, cool, a bunch of Angreal. And he's just like, stab.
I knew you'd be here.
So anyway, I started stabbing.
And I think Matt gets
Fortunately,
like
you lost your kidney to an unfortunate stabbing incident.
Matt gives him like several stabs in quick succession. It's just like pop, 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 and the thing just smiles at him, and he's like, "What the what?" Like half the reason why Matt loses that 80%. Now half the reason Matt is unable to recover is because he expects homie to go down, and the dude just smiles at him and is like, "Haha, nice
Because
try."
he does look just like a regular guy.
Yeah. Then
Are you mad? It is me, regular guy Golem. La 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 la. You will never kill this.
I guess
That's
The
it.
one
Now, if we ever get more of the TV show and they do the Golem, I want the Golem to have Borat's voice. I want what's the actor's name?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, I want Sacha Baron Cohen to play the Golem, inspired by Borat. You mean to tell me that Taverin that tried to stab? You mean to tell me that guy who tried to stab me with fancy spear is Taverin?
Is that taste anything like a Chandler? I never eat a Tavirin before.
Sitting on the bed in Thailand's palace, like, oh, queen of the castle, queen of the castle. Sorry.
Or he could be Signore Pirelli from Sweeney Todd. Like we could take inspiration there.
I
Like,
probably
"Signora,
would agree with you if I ever
signorini."
actually watched it.
I blow you a kiss, and I ask you the question of this: who says my elixir is piss? Who says this? I love it. Dude, have you not seen Sweeney Todd?
No, I don't like musicals, remember?
Dude, I'm giving you like homework. You've got to see this one. It's good.
The funny
this
part
the
is
only one.
I have it on the NAS. I downloaded it just
Yeah.
because it is like a Johnny Depp thing. But I know I've tried to watch it before, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's just saying, like, half the time I get like this weird feeling of like, that feeling of like secondhand embarrassment that you sometimes get. I get that so frequently with like musicals for some reason. I'll try to watch them and I just feel secondhand embarrassment out of like nowhere, and I don't know why.
And you hang out with me. Like I'm constantly singing show tunes. Like how does that work? I'm
Yeah,
gonna call
I
you.
just sit back and
We're gonna break that down. We're gonna break that.
Good luck. I only talk to him like once every couple months. I've fooled him into thinking I'm stable-ish.
It'll be a group session.
Yeah.
We're gonna be like, hey.
Can you explain this? I'm like, no, I can't.
Okay, so
like technically,
Gholam.
chronologically, before the whole thing in Evudar, he goes into Kyrian, the Golem does, and kills Herodfell.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, because it seems that he's like, you're helping the dragon figure out the seals in a way that we're not necessarily comfortable with. Stab and slurp.
Stab.
Stab and slurp.
Would you like to come and get a drink at the Stab and Slurp?
Like the stab and slurp.
I feel like these guys are like so many different mythical creatures all at once.
Right?
They're just everybody. They're
Seems like there's a ton of like vampire like inspiration to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know also there's like 80,000 different subtle iterations of vampire.
Yeah.
Because I know there's iterations of vampires that can like squeeze through minuscule openings. There's obviously the blood-sucking vampire. There's the vampires that get burned by certain like religious symbols or certain metals. There's vampires that can, just detect shit from, insane distances.
Well,
like
one example of this that I love is in Interview with the Vampire, right? There's the scene where Brad Pitt has been recently converted. Louis has been recently converted. And Lestat is saying, read her thoughts. And Louis is going, what do you mean? And Lestat's like, read her thoughts. And Louis is like, I can't do that. Like, what are you talking about? And Lestat just kind of goes, well, the dark gift affects us all differently. And I love that there's just like a subtle nod to this is a much bigger world. And I feel like the Gholam have, like Reese and Andrew are saying, like they have like all of this. They've got all the powers of the vampire, and I love it.
I mean, there is also something to be said about, and we've talked about this before, the potential inspiration and parallel to the to Jewish mythos about the Golem, the Golem.
Yes.
This inanimate anthropomorphic kind of creature made of like generally like clay or mud, that can just kind of do all of these different things. Oh my gosh, contacts that are supposed to help you to see, but constantly make it to where you can't see. Fucking irony. Yeah, I fucking love it. Just blind me. Yeah, I'm not going to go through the whole mythos of the Golem, mainly because I can't read that fast, and I just don't want to. But it's also involved in the culture of the Czech Republic, so that's a little fun fact for you there. So you can go and look at that as much as you want.
Well, and I remember when I was first reading through, and I felt like there were a lot of parallels between the Golem and, what was his name at the time? Ordeth in...
okay.
Goth, where he looked real big and then he slipped underneath and I remember when we saw the Golem, I was like, oh, it's that guy again. And just kind of being confused or like, wait, is this a similar creature or like another, what is this? But I remember making that connection because they're like two creatures that could shapeshift kind of.
I honestly never made that connection, but you're not wrong. There's something there, right? And to consider the fact that the vampire sometimes has the ability to turn into mist, and that's how they escape rooms, by turning into mist and sliding through the crack of a window or something, or under a door. I like that.
The bats in the show make a lot more sense all of a sudden.
Hey, so the
choke on my vampire.
So the parallels are actually what intrigued me most about the Golem, right? So basically, we've got this character that can't be stabbed, can't be channeled at.
Can be.
It can be. Can't be affected. Doesn't take damage from stabbing.
It does. I'm doing it to you now so that I take the wind out of the sails of the comment section from doing it.
Okay.
Even
Well,
though we
no.
know clearly by some of the comments from our things we don't like about the TV show and things we do like about the TV show, you can't be bothered to fucking listen for 5 seconds to figure out how we
No.
actually feel and think about stuff. You just read a
Isn't that
title
great,
and
though?
fucking, oh, I'm so sorry that you guys hated the TV show. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, 2 episodes ago we talked about, that was part 2 of everything we liked about it, and you couldn't be bothered to fucking look and see that we did that?
Yeah, come on, guys. At least swallow before being victimized.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
I'm not laughing. I'm crying.
Oh.
All right, cut that.
Oh,
Not on your
God.
life.
No. That was fucking.
Holy shit.
Welcome.
Fucking. Oh, God. Like words to live by almost. Oh.
Woo! Yeah! Welcome to the Black Tower Podcast. We love it here. God.
Apparently, there's
All
a whole
right.
lot more about the Jewish idea of the golem that stems from Prague. Holy shit. Like, the classic narrative is the golem of Prague. Judah Loeb ben Benzial, 16th century rabbi from Prague. Huh. You see? It's like a wheel of time. We've come full circle.
Hey, we come back. You throw it away, it come right back. No, so like the thing that intrigues me most about the Golem is the parallels to other things in the books, right? I never made the connection with Mordeth. I think that's awesome. There's got to be something there. Maybe there's got to be something there. I don't know. But Agenor, I don't think. I mean, maybe it is because Agenor made the Golem long before the Trolloc Wars, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, the people in Shadar Logoth didn't, or Aradol didn't just like come up with extreme paranoia and, you know, savagery. Like that was a thing that existed. It had to have existed already because, you know, you love time. So maybe that's an element that went into that, to the Golem. The Foxhead medallion that Matt carries. Not only does it mimic the weaves melting off of the wielder, just like the weaves melt off of the Golem, it actually has the ability to burn the Golem, which Matt finds out by luck. Shocking. And so my curiosity when it comes to the Golem, right, is more like, what are these guys made of? Like what is a Golem?
I have a thought.
Okay, I was just gonna say real quick. The thing is I like that you're going into the Jewish folklore about this, like how they can be made of mud or something like. Well, if this guy's made out of mud or clay, that would easily explain why he can slip through cracks or why he can get stabbed and not really
Slip through my crack.
feel the
How you
effects.
doing?
Cotton candy, shoddy, bringing in the heat. I mean, I don't know. There's just I'm intrigued by the parallels here. What was your?
What if the claim that Agenor created the Golem is an unreliable narrator factoid, and in reality, the Forsaken went through the Redstone doorway, and their request was an assassin to hunt channelers.
I hate you. That's terrifying.
And the Finn were like, we have just the thing. And they took the husk of men that had come before, men used as like the pearl of humanity that had come before, and imbued them with all the powers they needed, including similar powers that was imbued with the Foxhead medallion. And we're like, here you go.
I got one better because it's Forsaken. What if they brought them other channelers and said, hey,
there it is.
Take this person's whatever, and in exchange, give us a perfect.
Bring you a person. Extract their person goo and make them an assassin machine.
You may have their memories, their internal organs, and their power. All we want is a perfect killing machine that can slip underneath doorways.
Each of their memories, this we give to you. Partake of their liver, for it is thine. All we ask in return is that you make them an unstoppable channeler killing machine.
Okay.
Because think of the same way that like the fin move, like in that kind of impossibly agile kind of manner that seems to be like there could be a little bit of like a weird kind of like connection between the golem, and it would also make it kind of fit with the fact that we only really ever see the golem in tandem with Matt's side of the story, given Matt's interactions with the fin.
Oh.
And they didn't need to get all 6 from the fin. They only needed to get 1 because just like Elaine was able to create more foxhead medallions that were perhaps less perfect, she was still able to create more. The one that Matt interacts with is the original one that the Forsaken got from the fin. That's why it still survived, even in the stasis box. The others were the imperfect copies that died. The imperfect copies they were willing to sacrifice.
It would also make sense that they would want to keep the perfect one in a stasis box for the preservation there.
Research.
I like that a lot. And here's another parallel with the fin. The fin feeds on the essence of channelers, and they enjoy that more. It has a more narcotic effect than does the essence and or blood of regular. So there's a connection there. There's gotta be.
What if that was part of the deal? Was that whoever the golem killed, their essence was transferred to Sindhal?
Do you think a golem is an Ilfin like avatar? Like
that's what I was just thinking. Like
and run
it's
around.
Like a fucking mech. It's like a mech suit, like a skin suit. It's like that fucking how much of American Dad have y'all watched?
Yes.
Have y'all seen the episode where like Stan like wears the 3D morph suit and basically pretends to be the girlfriend for his son, Steve?
Yeah.
The Finn are just like
perfect prom date.
Yeah, for the perfect prom date.
Prom date.
Yeah.
Where are the Finn when I needed them?
Or it could be like
sucking off sucking out some other channeler's soul, giving it to somebody else the old stab and suck.
Stab and slurp. Get it right.
Yeah. Sorry. The stab and slurp.
What?
I've heard it both ways.
What I was gonna say now.
So wait, if that holds true, would that make the golem like closer to like an almost living, breathing ter'angreal?
Could be, huh?
Like if we put them as like a kind of like autonomous version of the Foxhead Medallion kind of thing.
And that's why it reacts to the Foxhead Medallion.
Wait, the Foxhead Medallion, the fucking golem are like the snake side of it, with the same powers.
And
so you have the snakes and the foxes with like the same kind of like fucking ability things.
But it's got like a resonant frequency.
Yeah.
And that's why when he gets burned with the Foxhead Medallion, and not only does it burn him, but he's like, Nemesis.
And that's why in Sindhal, they have to stay in different towers because they can't directly interact because of their resonant frequencies.
Dude, okay, hold up. I feel like we just, oh my God, okay. I feel like we just blew the lid off of something right here.
Have you ever seen the snakes in the same room? Have you ever seen the foxes in the same room with the snakes? I don't think so.
As we just blew the bore wide open.
I thought he came from the Finn's world. I can't fucking read. I mean, I always thought he was, but the thought that he came from the Finn's world is mind blowing. I mean, it seems to fit so well.
It does.
As an individual to have such similar and resonant properties as the Foxhead Medallion, and to be described as somebody like. Because that's how the snakes are kind of described as moving, right? Whenever Matt like has to fight them, right? Is that they move like they're like weirdly agile and they can twist and avoid being stabbed. And even then, if you hit them with regular conventional weapons, it doesn't really do anything.
Okay, what if
Foxhead Medallion only burns them because it's made of iron? Sorry.
So do we ever get an example of anybody channeling at the fin?
No.
Right, but we do know that the Finn are on a completely different like plane of existence, right? They're in a whole ass different place.
Well, because
So what if,
we only get 4 chances that would have even have happened. It would be when Moraine first goes through the first redstone doorway,
right?
when Rand goes through the same doorway, and then whenever Moraine tackles Lanfear through.
That was
Those are the
most
only 4
likely
instances
possibility.
that we get to see a Chandler go through the door. Well,
Well,
physically they go through a doorway.
They go through a doorway, and they were in the middle of a fight, and the doorway like melted. So
Yeah,
I mean, you could say that's kind of like maybe a result of channeling.
it could be. Yeah. I'm saying like those. That's the only times that Chandler that we read anything about a Chandler interacting directly with Sindhal, whether we get to see them in Sindhal or not. Because the other thing is the first interactions where Rand and Moraine are in Sindhal, the only perspective we actually see is Matt.
Right.
Stories about channeling there is dangerous and what?
And Rand comes out of the doorway holding a sword of.
Oh yeah.
So Rand comes out.
Rand ain't taking
Rand-
no shit from the Finn.
Well, that's because Rand comes out breaking the treaty. So
Yeah.
Oathbreaker.
It's like, I'm singing about iron and fire. What do you want?
Yeah.
So what if the Finn, like if you channel at the Finn, your weaves melt? Let's say that. What if
You have no power here?
what if a Gholam is literally like when I know we were joking about like an avatar or a skin suit the Finn can, control or something like that. But what if that is it? What if that's it?
It's why they keep making clothes out of people's skin.
Right. Well, yeah, that too. But it comes back to the Fox medallion. Maybe rather than being like an artifact to stop the one power, it's more of like an artifact of the Finn that just so happens to stop the one power. Like, what if that's not even what it was intended for? I mean, who knows what the Finn really had in mind? What if it's collecting the one power that touches it? We don't fully know what that Fox medallion does other than stop the weaves that touch it.
And burn Gholam.
Well,
we do know that he was given the Foxhead medallion in direct response to the question, or in direct response to
the wish to have a way to be free of Aes Sedai.
And what if they're like, let us take that off of your hands for you?
And we do know that the Finn rarely give a direct response, right?
They're like Aes Sedai in their answers. They're not what you think.
Yeah. So now I got to know what that damn Foxhead medallion does.
Every time they're like channeling to make a new one, they've siphoned off some of their power to the Finn.
Is that what it is? Well, because we've talked about the Finn before, right? And been like,
oh, what if it's just like
how do they sustain themselves?
A collector? Like it doesn't actually go anywhere; it just collects the one power that touches it, and that's why when it touches the Golem, it burns him because it's just like transferring a bunch of the one power onto it and just singe.
Huh. Oh, this is so wicked.
And the goal is that Matt will be too curious to stay away, and he will eventually come back, and they get.
I mean, except the only problem with that theory, though, is that you can only go through the doorway once.
Well, there also seems to be like
that's been
so. Looking at the Foxhead medallion, the one it's made of silver. I know I mentioned the thing about iron earlier, which would just be like kind of cool, but also like kind of too simplistic and cheesy. Yeah. So it's made of silver. One of the eyes of the medallion has the ancient symbol of the Aes Sedai in it. But a difference between an implied difference between Matt's original Foxhead medallion and the copies that Elaine makes is the copies that Elaine makes. If held and used by a channeler, the channeler is unable to channel while holding the medallion.
But that's only the copy.
Yeah, which the implication seems to be that it's only with the copies. Because the copies can also be overcome by very strong weave.
Right. The other interesting thing here is we talk about the creation of ter'angreal and how there's such specific rules for the creation of ter'angreal. What if this ter'angreal, in order to be remade perfectly, must be made in Sindal? What if geography is an element in the creation of some ter'angreal?
What if all ter'angreal originate from Sindel.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
a theory.
I feel like a podcast talked about that.
Yeah, they did. Go watch our episode because we're smart and funny and sexy.
Yeah.
Nobody else
No,
has a sexy more shoddy. Just saying.
I mean, you're not
There's
wrong.
that.
Actually,
No,
Delving
I really
Chronicles has a sexy more shoddy. So if you want twice the sexy more shoddy, you got to go to Delving the Chronicles. What the hell?
what in the hell?
Oh no. Oh no.
The Golem
guys.
left him for him.
My camera did it again.
Did you plug in the power?
Yeah, I did.
Is it the right power cable?
Yeah, it is.
Are you sure it was actually turned on?
Yeah.
Power
well,
strip?
Yeah. It's been going this whole time.
Allegedly.
Could have been on battery.
No, it's not. It's got a dummy battery. So it's got a battery shape with a cable that plugs directly into the wall.
Well, that's why it stopped working, because you keep calling it a dummy.
Be nicer to your equipment. Duh.
That's a t-shirt right there. Be nicer to your equipment.
But no, I really like this idea now that the Foxhead medallion is the fox's equivalent from Sindal, and the golem is the snake's equivalent from Sindal.
And yeah.
Because you also get like one, like you get the, like again, it works with so much balance. You get one that's offensive, one that's defensive.
What if it's even more than this? What if the snakes and foxes are actually at war? We never got to this part of the story. And they have chosen their champions to actually like fight it out
Okay.
in a different universe.
I mean,
Let's do it.
okay, but didn't we talk about in Towers of Midnight when Tom and Matt and Noel go into the Tower of Genji? Aren't there both snakes and foxes in there?
I believe so.
Because when they're trying to escape, when they're running, I thought that both snakes and foxes were chasing them.
Really?
Like they are
I
segregated,
believe you're
right? Like,
I believe you're right. But I thought they were like, because he didn't come through a doorway,
yeah.
rules didn't apply. So
Yeah.
both parties could go. That's what it seemed like to me. I believe you're right. But still,
Both
what if
parties
they're
have to
still
go.
like not at like what if it's like still a rivalry?
It could definitely still be a rivalry or definitely still be like a
Like
you
they
know,
don't care about our pattern. They're just like, oh, we're gonna give our team
yeah.
a medallion, and we're gonna give our team a golem. Let's see what happens.
Well, and we are told that any questions concerning the shadow are very dangerous questions to ask as well. So,
So this was like the witnessing party to the agreement between the creator and the Dark One.
Oh, that's what it was. Thank you, more shoddy. Fact checker Mihail coming through. The eelfin were feasting on Matt's eye and the pain he exuded, and they were all happy with what their accomplishments were, and they let him go. And then the eelfin were like, no. He didn't come through a door. I'm taking some of that soul, boy.
Okay. Oh, I feel like somebody's taking half the light of my fucking world right now. Jeez. I'm popping these out. Sorry.
Do it. Do it.
I won't be able to read nothing, but
Okay, but
that's just more in
so
line with my education.
I don't know, man. There's a lot about the Gholam here that I never considered before. This is just crazy. This is just crazy. I love doing these episodes because I love like getting a different perspective on this. I never made the connection that the Gholam was connected to the Aelfin and the Eelfin, right? I thought, yeah, the Foxhead medallion, but I thought it was like one of those. It was Matt's luck again, right? Where Matt got a thing that freed him from Aes Sedai, but then it just so happened that his luck, it gave that extra ability unintentionally. But honestly, that's not the way the Finn do things. They are way too devious for accidental.
Well, while Morshadi is preparing to crush our theory, let's go into the final part about the golem. That is the demise of the one golem that we see.
Yes.
Matt concocts a plan to get rid of the golem, thinking about a mix between his experience in the ways and his experience skimming with Rand, being like, well, if we can't kill him, can we? And he used a little bit of his foresight. He uses a little bit of it. He uses his ravens as, the Odin of the Third Age to look forward into the future. Watches Thor Ragnarok and sees Loki bitching about falling for 30 minutes and goes like, well, what if we just made that forever? And we just take the golem into the skimming world and just push him off the edge and let him fall forever into the void.
Him and another Aiel
Forever.
are still falling to this day together in love.
Well, the Aiel is, we have some words from Brando Sando that may say differently about the golem. But ultimately, that's what happens. Matt, with the use of his original Foxhead medallion and the two or three copies, I think it's two, made by Elaine, he's able to corner the golem and push the golem through a gateway used for skimming, made by Sumiko Karastovan. Sorry, I gotta keep getting close to the screen because I took my fucking eyeballs out. And then basically pushes the golem over the edge, into the void.
Right.
Which unfortunately, like Josh was mentioning, is the same void where there's unfortunately an Aiel that's, actually by this point, giving the difference in time, I would imagine by this point that Aiel has starved.
Probably.
Like Loyal is doing in the TV show right now, starved and died.
Nope. No.
I
reject this. No, there is another Waygate below him. He went. Him and Aerith's ears are twitching as we talk. I don't want to hear about it. Okay.
Whoa! It is so impolite to talk about an Ogier's ears and they're twitching.
Without their
so rude. It's like Ogier Playboy is just holographic ears that twitch. So the thing from Brando Sando, while the fate of the golem was not discussed in the books, Brandon Sanderson stated in an interview that while going through a gateway would not kill a golem in and of itself, a few minutes spent inside the dimension used for skimming, however, would. And that indeed the one that Matt confronted died after a few minutes of falling through the void.
Okay.
So it seems that despite his specialist nature, he is still
yeah. So I'm gonna post this up here. Morshadi has posted. I put RJ's word in the live discussion chat. If you would like to see this, and I just read it, and it's really nice, you got to join our Discord, which, go do that, blacktowerpod.com. There's a button to join our Discord. And then for this particular channel, you do have to be a patron. And it is pretty cool. It is a screenshot that basically confirms that, no, the Gholam were created, not bred in any way. And supposedly their creation is involved in making them so that they would be obedient to the chosen, whoever the chosen might be at any given time. And of course, as we know about the Forsaken, they are marked by the Dark One. This marking allowed men to channel Sidene free of the effects of the taint. But it also gave protections and basically admin rights to Murdral and Trollocs for female Forsaken as well. But no, it looks like the Gholam were straight up created. Maybe the inspiration was from the world of the Finn. Obviously, there's got to be some kind of connection there because Matt basically receives Gholam powers, right? It's like, and Rebecca Sadai is asking, to whoever holds their Korsuvra, they are obedient to their Korsuvra holder. So Gholam don't have souls, so they can't be bound by a Korsuvra.
So
Korsuvra is a soul.
my bit of a response to the words of RJ in regards to my theory of at least the original Golem being something coming from the fin is that nothing, at least in that portion of RJ's words, indicates that that's not what happened. It says that they were created, not bred. That they are created in a way where they have to follow the words of the chosen. That they won't follow the words of anybody else. Nothing says that, you know, that the first one or all of them weren't created by the Finn and then given to the chosen or the Forsaken.
Do we have much information?
A little bit of semantics here, but
with the Forsaken and the Finn?
No, I don't know that we have any examples of the Forsaken visiting the Finn. Not direct.
Not that we know of, but I'm going off of like, so the Angreal that existed for the Redstone Doorways existed in the same like time frame, and given that so many of the Forsaken were very high ranking Aes Sedai, they would be like just as aware of the existence of certain types of Angreal as others. So I would, you know, because I mean, you got Damondred, who's like, you know, thousands of years later comes out of like his sealing away and immediately goes looking for the Sakarnan.
Yeah.
Which I say that given the power behind the Sakarnan, none of the other Forsaken seem incredibly obsessed over going after it, but also none of them seem incredibly obsessed in going after Kalendor amongst the male Aes Sedai or male Forsaken.
Yeah.
Other than Bilal, and he gets like the shittiest fucking intro and exit. I'm Bilal. The Marine's like, you were. Psst.
You were Bilal. Ha ha. Sucker.
Bilal, more like bye-bye.
Get hooked.
So.
Anyway.
Marine pops up. You can suck on my balls.
Suck on my balls, Amon.
We see your balls, Amon, and we raise you the hills of Tanchico.
Hey!
You're welcome.
Do the dance. Do the dance. Oh, chick, oh, chick, oh, take a chance. Do the dance. Final thoughts on the Gholam. Let's do this. What else do we need to cover about the Gholam?
That's it. That's it.
I think the Gholam, the material that it's made from is Reese's squishy tube.
This.
And yeah, that. And that's why, see, look, it even looks like a Gholam moving around.
Her coalesced collection of Smurf foreskin.
Fun fact. I made 6 new ones during this episode.
No! I immediately regret bringing it up. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight, folks. I am speechless. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening and watching and being awesome. Thanks for tuning in for this week's Dose of Taint. And wherever you go from here, we hope you're just a little bit more insane than you were when you first got here. No, I am.
Grab their foreskins, Nerevar. I'm making a potion.
My name is Josh Sadai. I've been your Nathan Mahale.
I'm Reese Sadai. Oh. I'm Reese Sadai. Your hands off, Ethan Mahale.
Hands off the merchandise, Mahale.
And I I'm Andrew, your not collector of Smurf foreskin mahail.
You're missing out.
Just look at the way they jiggle like gelatin.
Wait, let me get the little guy.
Dude, you know what? The story of Smurf.
You can go with a little, or you can go with a lot.
Whatever you
All
want.
I'm gonna
Sometimes
say
less
is
is more.
look up the myth, like the actual myth behind how Smurfs are created, and you guys are gonna be
I don't wanna.
mortified
I don't
with
wanna.
yourselves.
No, I'm good.
Thank you. And this is all of us saying good night. Good night.
You've been waiting for this moment, for this feeling to grow. In the shadows, always watching, always running the show. In the tower, you can bring your pain. In the tower, you can feel the strain. You've been having so much trouble